Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. Hope you enjoy. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, something new to try. Chat GPT. I'm sure you've heard about it. There's a million videos about it. But let's be honest, I am a storytelling channel, and Chat GPT is more designed to tell stories. So, let's go on a bit of a journey and see how well it tells stories, with the help of me. Some of you may have noticed a change in my thumbnails over the last several months, so at this point, all my thumbnails are generated by AI. It just makes life easier, I'm not infringing on anyone's copyright, and the wording gets me the pictures that are kind of vision in my head. I expect ChatGPT to be the same. So I went to writing prompts on Reddit and picked up a writing prompt, which was, you've been turned into a vampire. You are now an ageless immortal, yet you are desperately trying to find a way to cure your condition for a single purpose. You can't eat garlic bread again. This story does have a happy ending. It is written in 3 parts, so don't worry about it. Listen to the end to see where it goes. I knew that a single prompt would not give me a decently long story, so we had to massage it a bit. The first prompt I gave ChatGPT was, write a lengthy story about how John Doe, a garlic bread connoisseur, gets infected and becomes a vampire. The setting is on a space station and the year is 2613. He does not cure himself and struggles with his new normal. This is the response. The year is 2613 and John Doe was living his dream. He was a garlic bread connoisseur, working on a space station that orbited the planet Earth. He had devoted his life to the pursuit of the perfect garlic bread, and he was known throughout the galaxy as one of the foremost experts of the subject. But one day, while exploring a distant planet in search of new ingredients, John was bitten by a strange creature. He didn't think much of it at first, but as the days passed, he began to feel different. He was stronger, faster, and his senses were heightened. But with these newfound powers came a terrible thirst for blood. John soon realized that he had been turned into a vampire. He was now an ageless immortal, doomed to spend eternity hunting for sustenance. He was horrified by what had happened to him, and he was desperate to find a cure. For years, John searched the galaxy for a way to reverse the effects of the bite. He tried everything he could think of, but nothing seemed to work. He was resigned to his fate, until he remembered something that his grandmother used to say when he was a child, that garlic would ward off vampires. He laughed at the idea, but as he thought about it more, he realized that it might just be worth a try. If he could find a way to eat garlic again, he might be able to reverse the effects of the bite. He became obsessed with the idea, and he was determined to find a way to cure his condition, no matter what it took. So John set out on a journey to find the rarest and most powerful garlic in the galaxy. He visited strange and dangerous worlds, braving the dangers of space and facing the unknown, and, after years of searching, he finally found what he was looking for. A strain of garlic that was said to have the power to cure even the most stubborn of afflictions. But in the end, John decided not to take the cure. He was torn between his love for garlic bread and his fear of what would happen if he lost his powers. He struggled with the decision for months, but ultimately, he couldn't bring himself to take the cure. He was a vampire now, and he would have to find a way to live with it. John returned to the space station, and he tried to adjust to his new normal. He struggled with his thirst for blood, and he was haunted by the memories of the lives he had taken. But over time, he learned to control his powers, and he found ways to feed without causing harm. He became a respectable member of the crew, known for his bravery and unwavering commitment to his craft. But even as he adjusted to his new life, John couldn't shake the feeling that he was living a lie. He was a vampire now, and he would never be able to enjoy garlic bread again. He struggled with this fact every day, and he was filled with regret for not taking the cure when he had the chance. But as the years passed, John found solace in the knowledge that he had made the right decision. He was a protector of the crew, and he had the purpose in life. He was still a garlic bread connoisseur, and he continued to explore the galaxy in search of new ingredients, and, even though he could never taste it again, he was still passionate about the perfect garlic bread. John's story became a legend in the galaxy, a testament to the power of love and the importance of following one's heart. And even though he was a vampire, he was remembered as one of the greatest garlic bread connoisseurs of all time, a symbol of courage and determination in the face of adversity. And so John lived out his life on the space station, a protector of the crew and a passionate lover of garlic bread. He may have lost the ability to taste it, but he never lost his love for it. He continued to inspire others, and his legacy lived on, a reminder that anything is possible if you have courage to follow your heart. The second prompt: write a lengthy second part to the previous story, where after many years and trials, John is able to cure its vampirism and eat garlic bread once more. Over the years, John has to blend in with everyone and pretend to be normal. He now travels on merchant ships or liners to keep his identity secret. John Doe was no longer the same man he once was. He had been a vampire for many years, and he'd struggled for the thirst for blood and his love for garlic bread. But after years of searching, he had finally found a cure. It had taken years of experimentation, and John had put himself through countless trials and tests, but he had finally discovered a way to reverse the effects of the bite. He was overjoyed and couldn't wait to taste garlic bread once again. But as he reclaimed his humanity, John realized that he had a new problem to face. He had been a vampire for so long that he had become known as one of the most fearsome creatures in the galaxy. He was feared and hunted by many, and he knew that he could never be truly safe. So John decided to keep his cure a secret. He blended in with other travelers on merchant ships and liners, using his knowledge of the galaxy to keep himself hidden. He lived a quiet life, never drawing attention to himself and always keeping his true nature a secret. But even as he traveled the galaxy, John was never far from his love of garlic bread. He was always on the lookout for new ingredients, and spent his free time experimenting with new recipes. He was still a garlic bread connoisseur, and he was still passionate about his craft. Years passed, and John became a legend in the galaxy. People whispered about the vampire who had found the cure, and they marveled at his bravery and determination. But even as his reputation grew, John remained hidden, never revealing his true identity. And then, one day, John was approached by a group of travelers. They were scientists, and they were searching for the cure that John had discovered. They'd heard the rumors, and they were desperate to find a way to reverse the effects of the bite. John was hesitant at first, but he was moved by their determination. He agreed to help them, and he spent the next few years working with the scientists, sharing knowledge and helping them refine the cure. And, in the end, they succeeded. The cure was made available to the public, and soon vampires were becoming a thing of the past. John was hailed as a hero, and he was celebrated throughout the galaxy. He was no longer a hunted monster, but a respectable member of society, and he was finally free to enjoy garlic bread once again. And so John lived out the rest of his life a free man, traveling the galaxy and spreading his love of garlic bread. He may have struggled with the identity for many years, but in the end, he was remembered as a hero, a symbol of courage and determination in the face of adversity. Part 3. Prompt: write a lengthy third part to the previous story, where John, an old man, now has to give up his humanity and love of garlic bread and become a vampire again to fight off aliens invading the colony he is a part of, to save all the innocents he can. He can no longer be cured like he once was, but regrets nothing after saving his grandchildren. John Doe was an old man now. He had lived a long and fulfilling life. He'd been a vampire, and he'd been a human. He had experienced the best of both worlds, and he was content. But as he grew older, he began to sense that time was running out. One day, a distress signal was received from the colony where John lived. Aliens were attacking, and the colonists were in grave danger. John knew that he had to act, and he quickly gathered a group of volunteers to defend the colony. As he prepared for battle, John realized that he was no longer the man he once was. He was old, and his powers were fading. He would not be able to defend the colony on his own, and then he remembered the powers that he had once possessed as a vampire. John was torn. He had given up his vampirism years ago, and he had lived a peaceful life as a human. But as he looked out at the colony, he knew that he had no choice. He had to become a vampire once again, if only for a little while. And so John made the difficult decision to once again become a vampire. He was filled with regret, knowing that he could never taste garlic bread again. But he was determined to save as many lives as he could. He led the charge against the aliens, and he fought with all his might. The battle was long and brutal, but in the end, John and his team emerged victorious. The aliens were driven back, and the colonists were safe. John was hailed as a hero, and he was celebrated throughout the colony. But as days passed, John realized that he could not return to his human form. The cure that he had discovered years ago was no longer effective, and he was doomed to remain a vampire forever. He was filled with sadness, knowing that he could never taste garlic bread again, but he was grateful for the chance to have saved so many lives. And then he received a message from his grandchildren. They were safe, and they were grateful for what he had done. John was filled with pride, knowing that he had made this right decision. He may have lost his humanity and his ability to eat garlic bread, but he had saved the lives of his family, and that was all that mattered. John Doe lived out the rest of his life as a vampire, a protector of the colony and a hero to all that knew him. He may have regretted his decision at times, but he never forgot the importance of putting others first. And even though he could never taste garlic bread again, he remained a passionate and garlic bread connoisseur at heart, a symbol of courage and determination in the face of adversity. The end. If you have a story prompt that you want ChatGPT and me to narrate, slap it into a comment and I'll give it a look and maybe it'll be in the next video. Anyways, cheers. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 channel members and patrons: Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Lord Azrakal, Dragzoon WRE, Holly Sister, Ambrose Cattell, and Quantum Wednesday. Thank you very much.